This happened to me 1 year ago, and I still can't walk past that school without my hands shaking. Our final exams were coming up, and I was nowhere near ready. The pressure was crushing. Usually, our school library closed at 5 o'clock sharp, but because of the exams, the administration decided to keep it open until midnight. A gift for desperate students like me who needed every extra hour they could get. My house was only a 15-minute walk from school, so I made a routine of it. Every evening at 6, I'd pack my bag and head to the library. The quiet, the focus. It was perfect for studying. At home, there were too many distractions, but there, surrounded by books and silence, I could actually concentrate. That night started like any other. I arrived at 6 o'clock, found my usual spot near the back corner, and buried myself in my notes. Chemistry formulas, historical dates, mathematical equations, they all blurred together as the hours passed. I was so absorbed in my work that I didn't notice the time slipping away. When I finally looked up at the clock, it read 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I had never stayed that late before. Usually I'd pack up around 8 when there were still a handful of students scattered throughout the library. But now, as I glanced around, I realized something that made my stomach tighten. I was completely alone. The library was dead silent. Not the comfortable silence of concentration, but the heavy, oppressive silence of abandonment. The kind of silence that makes you hear your own heartbeat. I had maybe 10 or 15 minutes of work left, just a few more problems to solve. I told myself I'd finish quickly and get out of there. I bent my head back down to my textbook. That's when I heard it. Pause. Footsteps. But not normal footsteps. These were uneven, dragging. The sound of someone limping through the library aisles. Thump, drag, thump, drag. My entire body went rigid. Every instinct screamed at me to look up, to see who was there. But I couldn't move. Fear had locked my muscles in place. The footsteps grew closer, slower, more deliberate. I couldn't take it anymore. I slammed my books shut, shoved them into my bag, and ran. I didn't look back. I just ran out of that library as fast as my legs could carry me. Music intensifies. Outside the library, there's a long corridor. It stretches endlessly, fluorescent lights flickering overhead, casting strange shadows on the walls. At the end of that corridor, if you turn right, you'll find the school's main exit. I sprinted through that hallway, my footsteps echoing off the walls, my breath coming in sharp gasps. I was almost at the end, almost to the turn, almost safe. And then I saw her, a woman, standing at the far end of the corridor, perfectly still, just waiting. I slowed down, my heart hammering in my chest. Who was she? Why was she here so late? As I got closer, an overwhelming sense of wrongness washed over me. Something about her posture, the way she stood, the complete stillness of her body. I called out, my voice shaking. "Who's there?" The moment the words left my mouth, she vanished. Just gone. Disappeared into thin air. I stood frozen for a few seconds, my mind struggling to process what I'd just seen. Maybe I'd imagined it. Maybe exhaustion was playing tricks on me. I forced myself to keep moving, pushing through the front door and out into the night air. But something was wrong outside too. The street was empty, completely, utterly empty. The street is always busy. Even at night, you'll see people walking, cars passing, the glow of shop windows. But now, nothing. No cars, no people, no sounds except the wind rustling through the trees. Panic started to set in. My house was close, just a few more blocks. I kept my head down, staring at the pavement, walking as fast as I could. My stomach was growling from hunger. My legs felt weak from exhaustion and fear. That's when I saw the shadow. pause. On the ground in front of me, stretching long and dark across the pavement, was a shadow. A human shadow walking ahead of me. But when I looked up, there was no one there. The street was still empty. My blood turned to ice. I lifted my head slowly, and that's when I finally saw her. The woman. She was walking ahead of me now, moving in the same direction I was going. And the way she moved, it wasn't natural. She was limping badly, her body twisted, each step looking painful and wrong. She moved so slowly that within moments, I had caught up to her. Now I was close enough to see her clearly, and what I saw made me stop dead in my tracks. Her clothes were tattered and filthy, hanging off her frame in strips. Her hands and feet were bent at unnatural angles, twisted like broken branches. Her hair was a wild, tangled mess that obscured most of her face. But what I could see of her face, I can't even describe it properly. There was something deeply, fundamentally wrong about her. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to turn around and run, but I couldn't. My gut told me that if I tried to pass her, something terrible would happen. So I just stood there, frozen, several feet behind her. She stopped walking. Slowly, impossibly slowly, she began to turn around. And when she was facing me, she spoke. Her voice was like grinding metal, rough and painful to hear. She asked me a question that froze the blood in my veins. "Have you seen my daughter?" Long pause. I couldn't speak. My throat had closed up completely. My brain had gone blank with terror. What was I supposed to say? How do you answer a question like that from whatever she was? She asked again, louder this time, more desperate. "Have you seen my daughter?" Pure survival instinct kicked in. With a shaking hand, I pointed far down the street in the opposite direction. Anywhere, everywhere, just away from me. "Over there," I managed to choke out. She turned to look where I was pointing. And then, still limping, still dragging that broken body, she began walking in that direction. She walked and walked until she disappeared completely into the darkness. The moment she was out of sight, I ran. I ran faster than I've ever run in my life. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. But I couldn't stop. I couldn't let her catch me. All I could think was that I needed to find someone. Anyone. A car. A person. Help. And then, from somewhere far behind me in the darkness, I heard it. Her voice, screaming. "She is here! She is here!" Silence. That's the last thing I remember. When I woke up, I was in my own bed. My neighbor found me passed out on the ground just outside my house and carried me home. He told my parents and they called a doctor. Everyone said it was exhaustion from studying, stress from the exams, dehydration. But I knew the truth. And a few days later, my neighbor told me something that confirmed my worst fears. In 1998, there was a woman named Agatha. She was 32 years old and had a 10-year-old daughter who attended Eden Hill School, the same school I go to. One day, while playing with her friends during recess, Agatha's daughter had a terrible accident. She fell from the playground equipment and died instantly. Agatha was destroyed. The grief consumed her completely. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't accept that her daughter was gone. Within a year, Agatha herself died. Some say from a broken heart, others say she took her own life, but her spirit never left. Since then, people have reported seeing Agatha's ghost wandering around Eden Hill School and the surrounding streets, always limping, always searching, always asking the same question. "Have you seen my daughter?" She's still looking for her child, still hoping that somehow, some way, she'll find her again. And she'll keep searching these streets forever, unable to rest, unable to accept what happened. I never studied late at that library again, and I never walked those streets alone at night. because I know she's still out there, still searching, still asking. Music fades. Hi everyone, I hope this story sent chills down your spine. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below, telling me about your own paranormal experiences. I'll see you again with another terrifying tale. Until then, stay safe, and maybe don't study too late.